Alright, Rich Van Tassel back with you, continuing on with our recap of Week 10 of the NFL season. The Philadelphia Eagles getting a much-needed home win over the Atlanta Falcons, 24-15. Philadelphia is now 4-0 at home. Atlanta drops to 6-4. Matt Ryan, 18 of 33, 267 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Devontae Freeman, 12 carries, 49 yards, 4.1 yards per rush. Julio Jones did have a big day. Stats-wise, 10 receptions, 135 yards. He had a big drop in this game. Taylor Gabriel had a 76-yard touchdown reception. Devontae Freeman, 3 for 32 receiving. Brian Poole recovered a fumble. 2 sacks for the Falcons. They both belong to Vic Beasley Jr. He is having a very good season this year. Eric Weems, 3 returns, 74 yards, 24.7 yards per return. That's not bad. Matt Bryant, 3 for 4 in his field goals. When you lose by 9... that field goal is big because it cost Atlanta having a chance to get the ball back in a one-possession game. Carson Wentz, 25 of 36, 231 yards. No touchdowns, but no interceptions. Ryan Matthews, good day running the ball all the way around. Good day running the ball for Philadelphia. Matthews, 19 of 109, 5.7 yards per rush, 2 touchdowns. Wendell Smallwood, 13 carries, 70 yards, 5.4 yards per rush. Darren Sproles, 2 for 19, 9.5 yards per rush. The team overall, 38 carries, 208 yards, 5.5 yards per rush. Jordan Matthews, 6 receptions, 73 yards. Darren Sproles, 8 for 57. Zach Ertz, 6 for 55. Carson Wentz lost a fumble. Brent Selleck fumbled and recovered a fumble. Brandon Graham had a sack. Connor Barwin had a sack. Those were the only 2. Leotis McKelvin had an interception. Kenjon Barmer, 3 kick returns, 114 yards, a longest of 52, 38-yard average. Very good there. Caleb Sturgis, 3 for 5 in his field goals. So, Philadelphia was able to shut down the run game. They took the other approach than I expected. Basically, we're going to focus on everyone else, let Julio Jones have his, and take it from there. And they were able to get the job done in this one. Got some pressure on Matt Ryan. He was not good in this game. The running game was also not great for the Atlanta Falcons. That hurt him in that regard. Philadelphia needed this one very badly. Atlanta still on top of that division, but you know, you don't want to let teams creep around with games that you should be able to handle like this one. Next, very surprising game. I should have seen it coming, though. The Tennessee Titans winning that big signature game that they really needed, 47-25 over the Green Bay Packers. Packers now dropped to 4-5. Tennessee is 5-5. Aaron Rodgers, 31 of 51, 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Brett Hundley came in the game, was 1 of 4 for 8 yards. James Starks, 7 for 33, 4.7 yards per rush. Aaron Rodgers, 3 for 27. He had a running touchdown in this one, the only touchdown on the ground for the Packers. Altogether, the team 13 of 69, 5.3 yards per rush. The running game is a problem, though, for Green Bay. Devontae Adams, 6 receptions, 156 yards. Jordy Nelson, 12 for 126. He had a touchdown. Randall Cobb, 4 for 31. Trevor Davis lost a fumble. The team had 2 sacks, one for Dayton Jones, the other for Morgan Burnett. No interceptions, nothing of note in the return games. Mason Crosby, 2 for 2 in his field goals. For the Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota, 19 of 26, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Probably his best game as a pro. DeMarco Murray also threw a touchdown pass in this game. DeMarco Murray ran the ball very well. 17 carries, 123 yards, 7.2 yards per rush, a touchdown. The team altogether 30 of 162. That's 5.4 yards per rush. Delaney Walker has been Marcus Mariota's best friend since Mariota was drafted. 9 receptions, 124 yards, a touchdown. Tajay Sharp, 3 for 68, a touchdown. Rashad Matthews, 3 for 63, a touchdown. Anthony Fasano had a 9-yard touchdown catch. Kendall Wright caught the touchdown pass from DeMarco Murray. LaShawn Sims recovered a fumble. The team had 5 sacks of Aaron Rodgers. Certainly, that's something you don't often see. Aaron Rodgers is often upright. Now, granted, a lot of it is he gets the ball out of his hands quickly, but Tennessee has a pretty good defensive line. Orakpo had 2 of those sacks. Derek Morgan had another one. 2 quality players flying under the radar. Bryce McCann had an interception as well as Parrish Cox. And Ryan Suckup 2 for 2 in his field goal. So, Green Bay, hey, their running game is really something that you have to keep an eye on. They're 4-5. They've got a lot of work to do right now. Luckily, Minnesota's keeping them in it. Detroit is on the bye week right now, so they're not too far out of it. They have time to figure it out, but they've got to start doing it soon. As for Tennessee, this is the victory they needed. Now can they establish themselves and get moving? They're now up to 3-3 at home. Marcus Mariota, will this be the game where now he sees that he doesn't have to, or won't be turning the ball over all the time. We'll have to see what happens from here on out, though, but certainly give Tennessee a lot of credit. Tampa Bay smacked around the Chicago Bears 36-10. Jay Cutler in this, well, Chicago drops to 2-7. Tampa Bay 4-5. They get their first win at home. Jay Cutler, not good. 16 of 30, 182 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Jordan Howard running the ball, 15 carries, 100 yards, 6.7 yards per rush. Jeremy Langford, 2 carries, 16 yards. The team altogether, 20 carries, 122 yards, 6.1 yards per rush. Cameron Meredith caught a 50-yard touchdown pass. That was a Hail Mary at the end of the half. Alshon Jeffrey, 4 for 47. Jay Cutler fumbled twice, lost one of them. Jordan Howard lost a fumble as well. Team had 4 sacks. Let's see if Willie Young had one of those. No, McPhee had one. Willie Young had half a sack in this game. Connor Barth 1 for 1 in his field goals. Jameis Winston, 22 of 33, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That was a bad interception. I saw it. He completely missed the guy through behind him, and it was batted around for an interception. Peyton Barber, 12 carries, 38 yards, 3.2 yards per rush. Doug Martin, 16 of 33, 2.1. He had a touchdown. The team altogether 31 of 80, 2.6 yards per rush. Cameron Brate, top receiver, 7 receptions, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Mike Evans, 4 for 66. Freddie Martino had a 43-yard touchdown reception. Bradley McDougall, Quan Alexander both recovered fumbles. They had 4 sacks. Clinton McDonald 1. Gerald McCoy split a sack as well. So the defensive line getting some play there. Chris Conte and Brent Grimes had an interception. Conte returned his 20 yards for a touchdown. Robert Aguayo, 2 for 2 in his field goal. So Tampa Bay getting their first home win of the year. Chicago, not much to go into with them. They're a mess right now. Tampa Bay, will this get them going? They're kicking themselves for being 0-4 at home to start. They've got a lot of work to do. Certainly the Atlanta loss keeps them back in it. But we'll see how things move on from here for that team being able to get their first home win. Houston, 24-21 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston is now 6-3. The disappointment continues for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they drop to 2-7. Brock Osweiler still not great and really not good at all. 14 of 27, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Lamar Miller, 15 carries, 83 yards, 5.45 yards per rush. Akeem Hunt, 8 for 52. The team altogether 33 of 181, 5.5 yards per rush. So certainly they needed that the way Brock Osweiler was playing. DeAndre Hopkins, 5 for 48. CJ Fedorowicz, 3 for 26. Braxton Miller, 1 for 10 in the receiving game. Whitney Merciless recovered a fumble. They had 2 sacks, but none of them was from Jadeveon Clowney in this one. Kareem Jackson had an interception return, 42 yards for a touchdown. Tyler Ervin had a 57-yard punt return, but it was not a touchdown. Nick Novak was only 1 for 3 in his field goals. So Houston was sloppy in this one, and they still got the win on the road. Blake Bortles, 32 of 49, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. TJ Yeldon, 9 of 32, 3.6 yards per rush. Chris Ivory, 9 of 31, 3.4 yards per rush. The team, 22 of 80, 3.6 yards per rush. That's why you're throwing the ball 49 times, is because you struggle to run. It's killing Jacksonville this year. Allen Robinson, 9 receptions, 107 yards, a touchdown. Marquise Lee, 4 for 50. Ben Koyak, 3 for 35. Julius Thomas, 6 for 24. He had a touchdown. Blake Bortles fumbled twice, lost one of them. Chris Ivory recovered a fumble. 1 sack belonged to Aaron Colvin for Jacksonville. No interceptions. Jason Myers, 2 for 2 in his field goals. Look, Jacksonville, disappointment. Not going to get into them. We discussed it at length. They're not running the ball well enough. It's simple as that. Houston, they are 6-3. They've got to figure things out with Brock Osweiler, though. They didn't bring him in for this team to be struggling the way they are. They're certainly able to run the ball well, but DeAndre Hopkins is too good of a wide receiver to keep languishing around with that, so Houston's got to figure things out. All right, we'll be back in a little bit to give you part 3 of the Week 10 game recap. Thank you so much. Have a good one.